May our sweet Jesus be your constant vision and your strength to persevere, heart dwellers. Well, today I was in worship for quite a long time, listening to Terry McAuliffe songs and worshiping my Lord through them. And around the time when I felt led to stop and get the message, the Lord said something to me very gently. He said, "We are very close." So I came to my computer and started to type, and I was listening for his voice again, and he said, "We are very close." I asked him, "Lord, do you mean to the rapture or the war?" "The war and the rapture," he replied. "That was me, beloved. I wanted you to know we are very close." This is not wishful thinking on my part. No, it's sad reality. There have been many false alarms, or shall I say, disasters turned away. But right now there is every indication that things are about to go forward. Stay in readiness, Claire. Stay in readiness. The enemy is very clever. And just to clarify this, I want to say that that doesn't mean that intercession will not stop this forward motion. We still don't know until it actually happens if it's going to move forward. "Lord, what would you have me to do right now?" "Hold me," he answered. So I set that time aside and just rested in the Spirit, holding him and just adoring him. I came back about 3 hours later, and I had started on the painting, a portrait of him. And he asked me, "Why are you afraid? Didn't I tell you I will do this through you?" "Claire, I am here. Pay attention. One step at a time, my love." My mind was drifting, and I was still trying to make sure that it was him. He began again. "I know you are feeling overwhelmed. Remember, I told you things would get more difficult. This is one way that is less painful than sickness, but still challenging. If you will keep your focus on me." Oh, Jesus, that's been so hard. I know it isn't easy. Keep your focus on the last time we were together and you saw my face. And in that moment, our new little rescue puppy came trotting in and started some funny antics on the floor. I bent over to pet him and play with him, and when I sat back up, the Lord said, "He brings joy to me also, Claire." I would think that if you've seen one puppy, you've seen them all. After all, you created them. He answered, "But I never get tired of their puppy antics. You have to understand, I am the creator, but then they take on a personality all their own, and my joy knows no bounds watching them discover the world, what they can and can't do, and seeing them loved. I love it when you love on him. Truly, it warms my heart." And it's the same way with creativity. When you approach a project such as a painting, there are things you have in mind, and as you begin to create, it takes on a life of its own. I am wanting to work through you, my Claire, to bring you to the point where the painting takes on its own life, and you are alive with it and in it. You've been in this place before with other paintings. This one will be no different. Please, do not look at this project as being so very difficult. The enemy will exploit that to stop you, just as he does with other endeavors. Smoke screens, Claire, smoke screens. Don't let him cow you. I truly am in this with you. How can you possibly fail? Oh, Jesus, I needed to feel more connected with you. Reach out for me. Reach. I am here for you. We have very similar tastes in this project. I love the soft colors, but I want my eyes to really dominate this painting, the windows to my soul, where my bride can see how exquisitely she's loved. Yes, that look I gave you on our wedding day, before we ascended into your heavenly dwelling. That look so full of love, expectation, innocence, purity. How I honored you. Yes, that's the look, and we can do this. Here he's talking about my first experience in the book Chronicles of the Bride that Ezekiel and I did. And this is the very first experience when he took me to heaven. Lord, what about this flat, bland feeling that happens where I all of a sudden feel unplugged from what I was going to do? This is something that's plagued me for years. I'll have an inspiration to do something, and I'll want to move forward with it, but all of a sudden, it's not there. The inspiration is gone. The oomph is gone. And I've really struggled with this for many years. He answered me, these are energy fields that are set up by the enemy to stop the creative process. You have experienced these many, many times in your life, and they have successfully stopped you because you had no one to pray for you, and you didn't know what you were up against. My children, when you try to proceed with a project that will bring glory to me, prepare yourself for battles with the dark forces. They want nothing you attempt to do to come to completion. They will bog you down, rob you of incentive, cause alienation and hopelessness. But these are all smoke screens, energy fields, put in place to stop you. You have authority over these. It is good if another prays for you. Even the holy angels can assist you with this. They are masters of energy fields. But what I want you to know is that you are up against something that must yield to my name. Every knee must bow and every tongue confess. You have the authority. Take it. Take the authority over these dark forces and call them down. My holy angels are there to assist you. Then he gave me this prayer. In the name above all names, Jesus, I command this energy field to come down and not be replaced. I call upon the holy angels to protect this endeavor, to stand guard and stop all intruders from all sources from interfering in any way. And by the way, I just want to make a note here, guys. He calls himself Jesus to me, Yeshua to you, however you want to put it, it's his name. So let's not get legalistic about the name that he used here, because this is the name that I call him from my heart. And by the way, I've seen the demons tremble when I use this name, so I know it works. He continued, continually check your motivation and clarity. When you feel your connection waning, that's opposition. Deal with it then and there. Don't let it go any further. Yes, use my blood for protection as well. Enlist the holy ones to cheer you on to the finish line. Does it not increase your resolve when others cheer you on? Just because the great cloud is not always visible does not mean it is not there. Paul did not write that as a fanciful idea. Rather, he had heavenly visions and knew the holy ones were watching. And he quoted the scripture, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off every encumbrance and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with endurance the race set out before us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. That's Hebrews 12:1. The Lord continued, whenever you set out to do good, the enemy sets out to oppose you. There is not a moment you are not being watched, sized up, by those scheming to stop you. You are never alone. Not only am I with you, but the enemy is continually finding ways to impede your forward motion. This takes great resolve on your part. You cannot be greatly resolved without me ever before you. I am your standard to be raised against the enemy. Always and forever, your vision never wavering, you will overcome the evil ones. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And there are times that I stand clearly before you to refresh your memory that I am truly here with you, always, non-stop, 24/7, forever and ever. Greater is my love than the forces of apathy and fear. These forces are no match for our love. Your love for me, Clare, will overcome all obstacles, but you must continually keep me in your focus. When you feel like you are not tuned in, reach out for me. You know I like this position to your right, sitting here beside the computer. Reach for me, beloved. But how do I do that, Lord? You may catch a glimpse of me in your periphery vision. You may close your eyes and see me before you. Because when you close your eyes, I move to be directly in front of you, looking into your eyes, only inches away. When you feel that sweetness, we are connected. Rest, rest. Let me stir your heart with my grace. Let us soak in one another's presence and bask in the deep, pure attraction we have for one another. Yes, you are attracted to me because my love draws you ever closer. You find your rest here, and I do as well. When things are especially difficult for me, I love to just sit with you and let our eyes meet, and let your awareness of my reality draw you into unspeakably sweet places. I began to feel that distance and was reminded to pray against that screen, because it hits me with Jesus when we're talking sometimes, or I'm trying to get deeper in my awareness of his presence. I prayed against them, and I saw two demons, scrawny little devils, one on my right and one on my left, and between them they were generating a screen to block out my awareness of the Lord, make me tired and feel like giving up. Two warring angels came and grabbed them by the scruff of the neck and took them off. Jesus continued, I allowed this as a lesson to you. This is exactly what you're dealing with. When you prayed, the warring angels removed them. That is exactly what they look like, unless others more stout are sent. No matter, they're no match for my name or the angels. When I started to feel that distance, I used the prayer the Lord had given me. You see, when you put forth effort and begin to feel like you are slipping, getting tired, restless, bored, immediately you should suspect interference. These are not natural feelings. They're generated by demons operating under sloth and laziness to cause you to let go of your attention from me or what I've given you to do. But Lord, what about the times when I feel sleepy? I thought these were ordained by you. Is this opposition or you? He answered, a very good question, and here discernment is needed. When I am allowing this to rejuvenate you on deeper levels, I will invite you to lay down and enter into my rest. For the most part, when we are together in worship and communion, I do not allow interference. But when you are prevented from connecting with me, then you may suspect opposition. This is the time to pray and bind until we are once more together in sweet fellowship. Lord, do they work by electronic means through the brain to prevent us? Not normally. Mostly they are external and come between you and the object of your concentration. You see, even in writing, they can insert themselves between us. Most of the time I take care of them. I also station angels around the room to protect our time together. But they are scared of you. Why would you have angels to protect us? I know they are real. I've seen these angels. Oh, Clare, you have so much to learn about the ways of these spirits. They never give up, child. They're like opportunists, jackals on the prowl. Whatever they can accomplish before they're found out, they will do. They will try to trick you into seeing them instead of me, or trick you into hearing them instead of me. I never allow that unless it's for a specific lesson. And you know from experience, it is always pride and arrogance in serious situations that I correct you in this way, allowing them to replace me, either in vision or speech. I was scanning the room spiritually for these disgusting creatures. See, now you are on to them. They won't trouble you now. They will wait for a more opportune time when you are not aware. This is why you must be vigilant, Clare. Now, my dear brides, everything I have told her applies to you as well. Many of you have gifts that have been opposed and discouraged. When you have a gift, you will have to learn not only to hone the gift, but to fight for it. Like Nehemiah, I will require you to work with your creative tools in one hand and your swords in the other. There is never a time when things just sail along unless I've intervened and given you a respite. Am I worth it, my precious brides? Is it worth it to you to fight for your gifts, to reveal me to the world? I am building you up in resistance to the enemy. I am energizing you with my grace. I do not leave you on your own in these battles. And the greater the anointing, the greater the fight for you to use it. What you accuse yourself of, being lazy, is more often giving in to opposition, which, yes, is laziness. But you do not always recognize you're being blocked. With this new knowledge, I expect you to overcome the things that in the past have hindered you. I love you deeply, my precious brides, and your beauty is without end. Go forth and sow this fragrance through the gifts I have given you. And just as Nehemiah did, wield the sword and build simultaneously.